Oh, I didn't see you there. Today we'll be talking about how to pass the math portion of the ACT.
On the math portion of the ACT, there are 60 problems for you to solve in 60 minutes. There are 14 pre-algebra problems, 10 elementary algebra problems, and 9 intermediate algebra problems for a total of 33 algebra problems. There are also 14 plane geometry and 9 coordinate geometry problems for a total of 23 geometry problems, and there are only 4 trigonometry problems.
Here are some basic terms that you'll need to know. Real numbers, which are all numbers that aren't imaginary, such as the square root of negative numbers. Rational numbers, which are whole numbers, fractions, or repeating decimals. Irrational numbers, which cannot be written as an integer, such as pi, which is the most famous. And integers, everything except fractions and decimals.
ACT doesn't actually provide a formula sheet for the people taking the test. It's important that you remember these next formulas.
Section of the ACT is more skill-based than the other sections of the ACT, but there are still a few strategies that you can use to help you find a better answer. So we're going to start with process of elimination, or PO, which encompasses red herrings and ballparking. And red herrings are questions with more information that is necessary to solve the problem in the passage. And then ballparking is when you narrow down by estimating, so you can get rid of ridiculous answers. And then we have the triaging of the math portion, which is when you do the first pass and you go through and answer the ones you do know, but still answer the ones you don't know and just come back to them just in case you don't have time, you don't have blank answers. You can also start by triaging your questions and doing a first pass, which is when you just go through and answer all the ones you do know, and if there are some that you're not sure on, go ahead and answer them just in case you don't have time to go back. But if you do have time to go back, you can go through your second pass, which is when you go through and answer the ones you're not sure about. You also need to try and work out the problems completely, because the ACT is going to try and trick you with partial answers, which is where you're halfway through a problem and you think you have the answer. They're gonna more than likely have that answer down there. And then the last tip is, if you don't know it on your second pass, use your letter of the day, but don't pick C unless you're absolutely positive.
Turn diagnostics on. You're going to want to press second, 0, second, alpha, D, and then scroll down to diagnostic on and press enter twice. Most one-variable equations equaling 0 can be graphed with the y equals function, and then pressing zoom 6.
And sometimes they give you problems with numbers and lists with an X and a Y, and with those you can go into stat, you can click edit, and you can plug in those numbers. As you can see, they're already plugged in here, and you can hit the stat button, you can go to calc, and there's all these equations that you can use depending on the situation. Like you can go to linreg and you can hit enter, and it'll give you your correlation coefficient and an equation for that line if a straight line were drawn through like the averages.
There are only 4 trig functions on the ACT. It is very vital that you know the 3 types of functions: sine, cosine, and tangent, and then the reciprocals.
The sine, cosine, and tangent, you can remember them using SOHCAHTOA, which is like SOH, which is sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, and so cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent.
Oh hey, didn't see you there.
Oh, I did not see you there.